Hello brothers and sisters, welcome to another episode here on Dangerous African Confessions HD. In this episode, we have the opportunity to listen to this conversation with our father, who discusses or shares with us about the kind of things pastors do to take away the glory or destinies of their church members. This is another story of dark rituals, spiritual manipulation, control, and trickery of powerful spiritual leaders in the Christian faith. Let us now go into what our father has for us today. Please subscribe if you haven't done so, and also do like and share this video, so others out there can also benefit from this conversation, and hit the notification bell as well, so you will be notified anytime we upload videos.
Please my people, before I start with what I am going to talk about, let me tell you from deep within my soul, the rituals that are performed before some of the pastors places their hands on your forehead to pray for you, you have no idea. The thing that seems to be he or she will be praying for you, is not what it seems. I am not saying there are no good pastors out there. But then, jumping from one pastor to the other will eventually get you into trouble one day. One thing you should ask yourself is that, why is this pastor getting all the attention that when he speaks or lay his hands on people, miracles happen, and the others seem to be quiet? The devil has his own way of attracting you to his shrines disguised as the house of the Lord. The question is, two pastors all serving one same God, how come this God is answering one person and not answering the other when you go to them? This is what you need to answer for yourself. And when you truly come to understand what it takes for them to do what they do, you will be more afraid than be happy for those under them. Most of the things that happens in these churches are more than just ceremonies. They are dark acts of spiritual theft, ones that affected not only the person whose glory was stolen but the very fabric of their life. When he or she comes to the altar and calls for people to pray for them, one thing is, depending on where his circle has been drawn in his or her church. That is something that the members do not get to see. Because it is done way before most of the members comes to church. You see, glory, in its purest form, is invisible to the human eye. But most of these pastors knows how to see it. We could see this glory in the aura around the individuals, a light, a kind of halo. But it wasn't just a physical light, it was their essence, their divine potential. And it is always beautiful. It is a kind of spiritual energy, shining, radiant, and full of promise. Something worth taking. The victim or the church members would be asked to kneel in the center of the circle, in front of the altar. And the pastor would normally pray or chant words that seems to be speaking in tongues. After which eventually he or she will place his hands on the members, which will eventually mean the glory would be taken from that person. These pastors are trained on how to steal these gifts. That is why most of these pastors grow so much wings and start to put themselves in a way that you know they see themselves as teen gods. When you see such things about your pastor, please and please again, walk out of that church and save your soul. They always feel that the members' destiny are theirs to control. Their future, their talent, their glory, all of it are theirs. You see, as a child, I grew up in a devout but impoverished family. My parents were humble, hardworking individuals, deeply committed to the faith. My father worked as a carpenter, and my mother was a schoolteacher who taught at the local school. They instilled in me a strong moral foundation and a deep love for the teachings of the Bible. But despite their best efforts, my early life was marked by a sense of inadequacy. Growing up, I was the quiet, shy boy who struggled to fit in at school. My peers were often cruel, mocking me for my worn-out clothes and the simplicity of my family's life. As I got older, I noticed how much my family struggled financially. While other children enjoyed the latest toys or clothes, I often had to make do with hand-me-downs. To be honest, even at my early days, I resented the life I had been born into. Though I loved God, I often felt overlooked, powerless, and insignificant. I developed great love for the stories in the Bible, the ones that had drawings in them. I was captivated by the stories of the great men and women of the Bible. I admired the heroes of faith, those who performed miracles, led nations, and displayed power and influence. Which gave me the idea that, when I am of age, I should also pick up the work of the Lord and do my bit for the kingdom. I grew up without seeing anything change significantly in my life. But even as I prayed and sought God's will, I felt that my prayers were unanswered. I longed for something more, something beyond my life of mediocrity and financial struggle. Deep inside, I wanted to be more than just the humble son of poor, faithful parents. I wanted to be powerful, and to be able to deliver people from being a part or experience my struggle growing up. You see, it was during one of these seasons of deep longing, when I felt utterly defeated by my circumstances, that I first came across the Secret Earth group. Well, how it happened was I think I had closed from service that particular evening. And I was walking home that evening when I saw one gentleman standing by a car by the roadside. He wasn't someone that I knew, and something about him struck authority. And he spoke with a confidence that he had never seen in anyone before. I started seeing him continuous for about a week anytime I would close from church. Always at the same spot that I saw him. This particular night, overheard him talk on the phone about wealth and power, the kind of power that could change lives. The pastor's heart quickened. And like I told you earlier, I wanted to be part of something greater. I longed to break free from the cycle of poverty and insignificance that had shackled my family for generations. One night, he approached me and told me that his name was Ezekiel. He was a tall, commanding figure, dressed in a long black coat with an almost unnatural presence. His eyes were sharp, calculating, and filled with a knowledge that seemed to pierce through my soul. He told me that he understands that I have been seeing him there and have been wanting to talk to him. The truth is that the day I heard him talk about wealth, I wanted to talk to him. He said it almost as if he knew exactly what I have been thinking. He continued to tell me that I was searching for something greater, something more than my small life. He emphatically told me that they can offer me that. Power, influence, wealth, and the ability to change my destiny. To be honest, at that moment, my heart raced. Was this the answer to my prayers? Was this the chance I had been waiting for? He continued that all will be well if I can get the knowledge of the ancient people through which certain directions will be done to pave the way for me to enjoy wealth. He said that power like this cannot be obtained through prayer alone or through the quiet work of humility. And so, I must take the opportunity. He said I should seize it. And for that, they can help me. After this encounter with him, Ezekiel invited me to a private meeting. That was when I met some members of the group. I was told that the group had connections far beyond the city, powerful people and influential leaders who had unlocked ancient, forbidden knowledge. The main thing I got to know and also practice is that the group was not just about worldly wealth, they believed in something deeper, the ability to control the very destinies of others. This, they said, was the true form of power, power not just over money or land, but over people's futures, their very essence. The group, as I was explained to, practiced ancient rituals, rituals passed down through generations, long before the church had become what it was today. They believed that every person had a hidden glory, a divine potential that was unique to them, their purpose in life. And by stealing this glory, the group members could harness it for themselves, becoming more powerful, more influential, more chosen than any others. But you see, at first, I was skeptical. I had been raised to believe in God's sovereignty, and the idea of stealing someone's destiny seemed utterly blasphemous. But Ezekiel was persuasive. The promises that were given to me were so huge that I fell for it. He promised me that they would help me achieve all that I had ever wanted, riches, respect, and most importantly, power. I must admit that my desires for a better life clouded my judgment. The prospect of finally leaving behind my humble, struggling life tempted me beyond measure. Ezekiel spoke of the ritual of glory, a forbidden practice where the group's members would lay hands on another person, someone with untapped potential, and steal their glory, absorbing their essence and spiritual power. I was told that I would grow stronger because that is the way to truly live, the way to rise above others and claim my place in the world. It was that night, in the shadows of a hidden room deep within an old building like a sanctuary, that I made the decision that would forever change the course of my life. Yes, my brother, I was initiated into the group and did or took part in all the rituals. The first ritual I participated in, the group gathered in a circle, surrounded by candles and strange symbols drawn on the floor in chalk. The atmosphere and the air felt charged with an energy that seemed unnatural. That was the day I met the leader. The leader led the group in chanting ancient words, and soon I was asked to step forward. I remember vividly that, when the ritual started, they brought in a young woman who I was asked to lay my hands on after all the necessary rituals was done for. This young woman, someone from a nearby community, I was told later that she had dreams of becoming a successful artist, with the potential to make a name for herself. She stood in the center, trembling with uncertainty. The leader motioned for me to lay my hands on her, and as soon as my palms touched her shoulders, I felt a strange, almost electric energy course through me. It was as if I was pulling something intangible from her, a force, a power, something that I could not see but could feel deep within my soul. The woman's body stiffened, just like when we pray in church and goes like a spirit has taken possession of someone. And her eyes grew wide with fear. But it was too late. Her destiny, the very essence of her future, began to slip away. My heart raced when I was told later that I was not just taking her glory but her very potential, her ability to fulfill her calling in life. The glory flowed into me like a dark, potent river, filling me with power and strength. When the ritual was complete, the woman stumbled away, her eyes dull and lifeless. However, I, on the other hand, felt a rush of energy unlike anything I had ever experienced before. I felt as though I could conquer the world, that nothing was beyond my reach. I was no longer the poor, insignificant boy from a small village, I was now someone with power. But in that moment, as I looked into the woman's empty eyes, I realized the truth of what I had just done. I had taken something precious from her, something that could never be returned. It was only the beginning of my descent into darkness. Let me tell you something deep about things that people in church really do not know about their pastors and what sometimes happens when they place their hands on the top of your heart or on your forehead. You see, when we talk about glory, it is not just a word. It's a divine gift, a spark of God's grace in every person. It's the very essence of your destiny, your talents, your purpose in life. It's the spiritual power that guides your every step and empowers you to fulfill your calling. It's the energy that fuels your life's potential, the very thing that sets you apart from others. But one thing, like I said, the church members does not know that the glory could be taken, stolen, harvested, bound. And once taken, it could be consumed. And with it, your pastor or the one that stole it could grow stronger, more powerful, more influential. Most of these pastors do have their rituals take place in secret away from the eyes of the world. And when they come to the pulpit or on the altar, they now pretend to hear from the Lord. But deep within them, they know already the kind of people that will be coming to him and the cases that will come. This is because, most of them, he is responsible for their misfortunes.
Don't forget to please subscribe, share and like our videos. Kindly hit the notification bell so you will be the first to get notification to our videos when we upload. We do not do this to shame others but to warn the innocent ones that the devil doesn't come with horns and a pitchfork. He comes dressed as everything you've ever wanted. So, to those listening, stay vigilant. Pray for discernment. And remember, no earthly reward is worth your soul. I will borrow from our previous episode, which is that, if you find yourself vulnerable, scared, or searching for answers, be careful where you place your trust. No human being should come between you and your relationship with God. True faith doesn't demand secrecy or fear. It uplifts, it heals, and it sets you free. By sharing this journey, we hope it can spare someone else the pains our brothers and sisters endure. Let every story we share be a reminder that, not every voice that claims to speak for God is worthy of your trust. Protect your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are precious beyond measure, just like she said. Let your inner man or spirit walk anytime you meet any man who tells you he or she is a man of God. So that, you will be able to know the lies from the truth. You see, faith when placed in the wrong hands, can also be a weapon, one that can destroy you. I beg you, brothers and sisters, ask questions. Pray for discernment. Test the spirits, as the Bible says. Do not let anyone guilt you into giving beyond your means or participating in things that feel wrong in your spirit. I hope that, This will be a lesson etched in the heart of those who dare to tread the fine line between faith and fanaticism. Stay safe. Stay vigilant. And always question the source of power before you place your trust in it. If you've ever been in a similar situation, or if you feel something's not right in your church or community, leave a comment below. Let's talk about it. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for more true stories, because sometimes, the scariest things aren't the ones we see, they're the ones we don't.